You're watching Stocks in Focus, where we discuss the latest updates in stocks and the ABCs of investing. Good morning. I'd like to introduce to you our guest today is Mr. Edward Lee. He's the chairman of the board of CitiSecOnline.com, a publicly listed company in the Philippine Stock Exchange since July of 2006, and the chairman of the board of the CitiSecOnline.com Hong Kong Limited, and the chairman and chief executive officer of the CWC group of companies, and the former governor of the Philippine Stock Exchange. And he is also the 2007 finalist for the Ernst & Young Entrepreneur of the Year Philippines. Good morning, Mr. Lee.
Good morning, Fritz.
How do you wish me to call you, Edward or Mr. Lee?
Edward. Edward is okay.
Okay, good morning, Edward.
Good morning.
Welcome on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Well, the pleasure is all ours. Well, how did you start with Citisec Online?
Well, in 1986, I started City Securities. And I've been in the business for more than 24 years. And what happened was that when the E-Trade, the Charles Schwab of today, started about 1998, I thought of setting up an online broker also here in the Philippines. So that's how I created Citisec Online. It was created in 1999, August. And here we are. It's almost more than 10 years.
Is Citisec Online the first online broker here in the Philippines?
Well, there are a lot of online brokers, but we started it way back in 1999, so I presume that we were the first.
You were the first, yeah.
Yes, to create an online platform for the Philippines. So it's based on the ancient Chinese philosopher that we believe that by educating people, by teaching people how to invest in the stock market, then they will be very successful, rather than telling them what to buy and sell on a daily basis. What we believe is that by teaching them the different investment technique, investment program, then they will be able to fend for themselves and eventually will be able to participate in the global stock market.
Now, how do you do that? How do you bring the people to invest in those various companies? How do you educate those people? What
we do is with Citisec Online is we have weekly seminars. The Easy Investment Program is every Monday. On every Thursday, we have how to invest in the stock market. And then we have basic and advanced technical analysis on week 4, week 3, week 4. So we do a lot of investors education, for free, basically.
Do you go to schools or companies?
We also do it. We also do that. We have a group of people basically that goes to Ateneo, LaSalle, different schools, and we go to different organizations. We teach financial coaching, and from there, basically, that's how we get the people to be interested in the stock market, because most of our customers are basically first-time investors.
Well, to be honest with you, I really haven't invested in the stock market, but yes. I want to. Now, when I told my parents about this, I told my friends about investing in the stock market, they told me that I should really think hard about it first, because
that's correct.
Well, especially from what happened a few years ago in the U.S.
Yes, yes.
And in Iceland, they're really bankrupt right now. In
that's
Greece,
right. Yes.
Because of what's happening in the stock market, basically. Now,
yes. 85% of the people basically invest in the stock market loses money, mainly because and people think that it's really difficult. The reason why they lose is basically of the greed that's there, that's available. Now, that's always available. Human nature basically are very greedy. What we teach basically is opportunities are always there when there's a crisis. So if you invest in the market on we call it a peso cost averaging or a dollar cost averaging, what will happen is that you set aside a minimum amount, maybe 20% of whatever you make, and you buy good companies over time, 5, 10, 20 years from today. Those companies basically are, for example, like the Ayala Group, or the Henry C. Group, or the Gokongwei Group. Basically, if you invest in these kind of companies, they've been here for 50, 100, 150 years. So they continue to be big, they continue to grow, and I believe that if you set aside a monthly, your savings, and buy all these good companies, over time you will retire a very rich man.
Well, you said buying those shares from certain companies.
Yes, that's correct.
And it's the same as investing.
It is investing.
Okay.
It is investing. Buying good companies over time.
Now, what's the difference between investing and trading?
Well, what happened is that as you invest in the stock market and you start making money, normally what happens is that your risk appetite increases. So you might think that this is an easy thing to do. So a lot of people basically start investing in a lot of penny stocks, a lot of startup basically that doesn't have any proven track record. And there, basically, you tend to lose money. So, or because you made money before, risk appetite increases, and what you do is you borrow money to basically speculate in the stock market. So it's not over time, but it's basically a very quick turnover in terms of buying and selling. No? So if you are not exposed in doing this timing issue, I think it's really very difficult for just an ordinary people to be able to make it.
From what I understand, from what you're telling me, when you trade, of course, you will get a lot of return compared to investing.
Of course, of course. It has been proven that investing in the stock market over time outperform cash, money market, fixed income. That's absolute positive. That's true.
Is it true that you get 20% on your returns?
If you have been buying, let's say, for example, BPI for the last 20 years, your average return should be about 18 to 20%. They give you high cash dividends and you reinvest it. Over time, you will be able to reach that 20% a year in terms of return on equity.
So what are your guidelines when choosing the companies where we can invest in?
Well, what's really important is that you have, we call it the 4 Ps. First is the people behind it, the product that they're selling, the potential of the product, and the predictability. We call it the 4 Ps.
4 Ps.
Yeah,
Okay.
so once you understand how to look for those kind of companies, you just buy and hold them. And you will eventually make a lot of money out of them.
How long should we hold a particular stock?
Well, what we're encouraging is for the long haul, because we're not asking you to put a lot of money in immediately. And what we're trying to do is that teaching people how to save early, on a very early age, and start investing in the stock market. Buying good companies only, not speculative stocks, not stocks that are being promised, but really there's really nothing inside.
How long have you been investing in the stock market?
I've been in the stock market for the last 37 years.
37 years.
That's right, yes.
Wow. So you're already an outlier in terms of...
Of course, yes, that's right. We've been doing this, and not only here in the Philippines, but we also have a seat in the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and we've been there for the last 8 years. And that's one of the reasons why Citisec Online is doing very well. It's basically, a bulk of the revenues is coming from the more developed markets, no? The emerging markets that are out there, like China and Hong Kong, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Now, how did you get into the stock market?
Well, that was about, when I was 18 years old, I was how do you say this? I was elected president of an organization. It's called Junior Achievement of the Philippines. Then we were invited to go to our consultant who's helping us set up companies, and there I saw this huge chart at the back of his office, the office desk, and he showed me a book. He told me that if you want to know anything about the stock market, read this book. That's what I did. And I thought it was easy, but eventually I have to pay my dues for that.
You also traded before?
Of course. I started as an investor and then became a speculator. So I have done this for so many years. And that's one of the reasons why after 10 years with Citisec Online, we believe that encouraging long-term investment is the solution rather than any of those short-term buying and selling, speculating in the market. Because in the end, if you're speculating, your risk appetite increases, you make money, and then what you do is that you pour it back, and then you become reckless. No? So risk appetite increases, chances of losing money is very, very high.